morning, everyone. I want to thank you for being here at the DEA New Orleans Division. I'm Kellyanne Biley, your Public Affairs Specialist. We want to thank the media for joining us today, and I also want to thank and acknowledge the senior leadership that are here with us. We've gathered to release some historic, verifiable data on the life-saving efforts of our fentanyl overdose response team, specifically related to the Northshore. To lead today's announcement and discuss the strategy behind this, please welcome Special Agent in Charge, Stephen Hofer.
Thank you, Kellyanne. Good morning, everyone. To the U.S. Attorney, the District Attorneys, the Chiefs, the Sheriffs, and all our outstanding partners standing shoulder to shoulder with us today, I want to say thank you to you all. This success belongs to this unified team. We begin today by acknowledging the truth. Fentanyl remains the single deadliest drug threat our nation has ever faced. It claimed nearly 50,000 lives last year. It is involved in 57% of drug overdoses. This makes it the leading cause of death for all Americans aged 18 to 44. Today, we are honored to have two incredibly courageous families with us. Your strength gives us purpose. Every action we take is fundamentally about preventing another family from joining us in this unbearable grief. We are fighting for them, for our children, and for our communities. For too long, the story of fentanyl has been one of overwhelming loss. But today, in this part of Louisiana, we're here to announce that our collective action is working. Nationally, we're making substantial progress. Overall deaths that are linked to synthetic opioids, they've fallen to levels that we've not seen since April of 2020. But the local results that are achieved here are staggering. We are announcing that our 2-year concentrated effort across St. Tammany, Washington, and Tangipahoa parishes has confirmed that focused, collaborated enforcement can shatter the drug trade's grip. In St. Tammany Parish, we've achieved a 70% reduction in fentanyl overdose deaths. In Washington Parish, deaths are down 58.5%. And in Tangipahoa, deaths are down 45.3%. These figures are not just statistics. They represent dozens of lives saved and dozens of families spared from tragedy in the fentanyl poisoning. How did we achieve this life-saving success? Through strategic, coordinated enforcement model that we call the Trifecta. This model is the blueprint for DEA's Fentanyl-Free America. It's a new campaign that's championed by DEA Administrator Terry Cole. Fentanyl-Free America is DEA's unwavering commitment to protect the United States. We'll do so by disrupting the supply chain, reducing availability, and eliminating the fentanyl threat. Our success here in Louisiana proves that Fentanyl-Free America is within reach. The Trifecta model works because we are fighting on 3 fronts simultaneously. Pillar number 1 is transnational disruption. Our top operational priority is to eliminate the Mexican cartels, specifically Sinaloa and CJNG. The cartels are responsible for flooding the U.S. with fentanyl and poisoning Americans. We are focused on breaking their command and control and illicit finance networks. Pillar 2 is the unbreakable partnership. This team, we tore down the jurisdictional walls. This effort, starting with the formation of the fentanyl overdose response team, is the foundation of everything we have achieved. We are combining assets and intelligence against the threat that we have just discussed. Pillar 3 is local accountability. We elevated the consequences for the poison pushers in our community, that if you sell fentanyl that kills, we're treating you like a murderer. This is a powerful, locally driven consequence that DA Colin Sims will discuss next. We know that nearly all fentanyl in the U.S. comes from Mexico. It's trafficked by the Sinaloa and CJN cartels, and the fuel for their operation, the precursor chemicals, come almost exclusively from China. This division has seized 187 kilograms of fentanyl pills and powder this year. That equates to more than 9.5 million deadly doses. In New Orleans alone, we've seized 21 kilograms, which is enough to kill more than 41,000 people. These seizures are showing results. The percentages of pills containing a lethal dose and the fentanyl powder purity have both decreased. We are not stopping. We remain focused on breaking the command and control and the illicit finance networks. We treat this drug trade like an act of war. To discuss pillar number 3, the critical local consequences that underpins our success and the legal innovation that is truly holding major dealers accountable in our courts, I'm proud to introduce my partner, the District Attorney for the 22nd Judicial District, DA Colin Sims, who will discuss the application of second-degree homicide charges.
Thank you. Behind me is an unprecedented partnership that in 20 years of being a state and federal prosecutor and now district attorney for the 22nd JDC, I've never seen. An unprecedented partnership with the United States Attorney's Office, with local law enforcement, state police, with our first responders, with Chief Kaufman and Slidell. We have an unbelievable approach to response, investigation, and prosecution. No boundaries, intelligence sharing, and our office is utilizing now second-degree murder as a deterrent to stop doing this. Fentanyl, like any other substance, it's not, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. You have it's like playing Russian roulette. If you're selling anything with fentanyl in it, you know there's a strong likelihood you're going to cause someone to overdose and potentially die. These statistics are a concerted effort of no boundaries, no egos, no one person. It is a consummate 100% team effort. Slidell PD has been a massive partner starting this foray. In our office, Daryl Marsev has helped coordinate a lot of this to get everyone to start communicating. St. Tammany, Washington, Tangipahoa. Unbelievable partnership in Washington Parish. Unbelievable partnership in Tangipahoa with Scott Perilou, Chief Gerald Sticker, who's going to talk next. When you bust a 14,000 pill dealer in St. Tammany, and as part of a concerted effort, and then you take out the source of supply in Tangipahoa with 40,000 pills, that's teamwork. That's a concerted effort, because that guy's responsible for 45 to 50% of the pills in St. Tammany. That's how you go out this. The governor giving us our penalties back so that we can go after guys with certain quantities of fentanyl for mandatory life sentences in addition to the second-degree murder. We have about a dozen individuals pending trial now in St. Tammany for murder charges because you know what you're doing. You're poisoning our community, and this is us not asking you, but telling you to stop, or you will go to jail for the rest of your life, I guarantee it. And you've got a complete partnership of people saying, this is a whole different approach, gentlemen. From a national level to a local level, they're taking you out from bottom to top. And it's not going to stop, and we're just getting started. And I want to thank everyone in this room, because no one person can do it alone. And I'd like to thank Big Pharma, because it's your settlement monies, your monies that the state of Louisiana got from you, that's funding every bit of this. We are paying for this additional effort with settlement funds, not taxpayer dollars, to go after these individuals who are stealing, who are selling these poisons and taking our lives of our citizens. Thank you. Gerald Sticker.
Good morning. Gerald Sticker, Sheriff of Tangipahoa Parish. When I took office a year and a half ago, it was very important to me, knowing the staffing levels that we were at, to partner with our other law enforcement agencies. Any one of these agencies standing behind me, we can't do it on our own. We only have a finite amount of people. It's the same problem that we're all facing. But together, we've become a force to be reckoned with, and we've brought war against the drug trade. As was stated earlier, our deaths were down 45% this year. Last year, we had, I think, 46 overdosed, 45 or 46. We're down to about 24 this year. 24 is still too many. We're not going to stop until we're at zero. And while we do it, it's for these families seated here to my right. Every bit of the work that our men and women do every day is to stop the next overdose. On top of the enforcement efforts that we brought to bear, we still participate in Operation Angel. As we speak this morning, we're working with a young man who's trying to bond out of our jail, who's suffering with substance abuse. And one of those conditions of his release is he goes straight to rehab. Prayerfully, hopefully, that's one that we can save. So not only on the enforcement end are we making headway, but we're also looking at alternative measures to stop that next death. I don't know of one family in our parish in Tangipahoa that's not affected by drug overdoses at some level. I've experienced in my own family as distant relatives have fallen victim to this. So with that, I'm grateful to be a part of this impactful effort that we brought to bear. Thank you.
Chief Bergeron, Hammond Police Department. Middle of 2023, I came to this specific office and I sat down and I spoke with the group supervisors, and I told them we had a problem in Hammond. We had a problem in Tangipahoa Parish, and we needed help. And one of the things we talked about was how we could combat the fentanyl, the influx of fentanyl into our community. One of the things I requested was that DEA, for their Northshore task force, put an office in the city of Hammond. I agreed that day, if they were willing to commit, that we would give them office space, we will give them an opportunity to work out of our stuff. We will do anything and everything that we can to get them part of our team and part of the Northshore on a daily basis. Moving forward from there, in 2024, January, was the origination of the FORT team, the Fentanyl Overdose Response Team. It started out in Tangipahoa Parish with a couple Hammond detectives and some DEA agents. We started making cases, looking at how can we take it a step further. How can we charge these people with the second-degree murder? We got with the district attorney's office, Mr. Scott Perilou, and they got on board. He assigned somebody to this team and said, hey, we're going to go after it. We're going to take it serious. We had to change the mentality in law enforcement that it's now a poisoning. We have to understand that these people are being poisoned by these criminals every single day. Moving forward from there, we've been able to make several arrests. We've charged multiple people with the second-degree murder. It wouldn't happen without the collaboration of all of our agencies, the Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office and all of our local agencies, from Washington Parish to St. Tammany to Slidell. I mean, all of them, every single one of them. Every first responder plays a huge part in this, from the fire department that shows up on scene and has to give the Narcan to keep these people alive when they're almost dying, to the Acadian ambulance personnel that show up. But the most touching thing for me was when you sit down and you talk to people and their families and you see the pain that they're going through. That's when it makes all this worth it. That's when it makes all it worth it, that we can at least give them some type of closure. It doesn't replace their lost ones, their loved ones that are lost, but at least we can give them some type of closure. And to the families, it's beyond impressive to us. Y'all are way stronger than any of us up here to be able to stand up and talk about the lost, or the feelings of loss that y'all have. So that being said, that's all I have to say, but I want to thank the DEA for originally putting that team in one of Hammond Police Department's buildings and really building this partnership from there and just growing it to what it is today.
Thank you, Sheriff Sticker and Chief Bergeron. We've talked about the data, we've talked about the strategy and the charges. But every single number and every single strategy and every single charge comes back to one truth. Real people are dying and real families are suffering. The real motivation behind every DEA agent and law enforcement officer are the families with us today. They've experienced the worst tragedy imaginable, the loss of a child to fentanyl poisoning. They've turned their grief into courage and are here today to ensure no other family has has to experience their pain. It's my profound honor to introduce Mr. Platt, followed by Mrs. Massey.
This is the second time I've done this now. I want to start off by thanking everyone here, the DEA, the Fort team, Hammond Police Department, especially Chief Bergeron and his team, who never gave up on my son. I want to thank the Tangipahoa Parish District Attorney, who is actively pursuing this today. January of 2024, my son took a fatal overdose of fentanyl. In about 6 months later, I got a call from Detective Cowart that they had made an arrest and asked us to come in. I met with Chief Bergeron and the team, met with Mr. Johnson, Special Agent Johnson, and that started us on this journey. No parent ever wants to be standing here. My son's birthday was yesterday. He would have been 29. He had a sister, he had a brother, and he had a daughter. They will never see him again. He will never see them. He will never see his daughter grow up. He's not a statistic, he was a real person. His death has impacted multiple families, and I'm even going to say it's impacted the dealer's family as well. Since my son passed, walking in the community, I can tell you that I could not imagine how many people I would encounter, from families, co-workers, associates, just people I've run into at random who have all told me they've seen me on TV and they were impacted with a loved one, or they have a loved one that's currently suffering from addiction. This is tearing apart our communities, and I have to thank the entire team behind me for all their efforts in stopping this. The prosecution is still ongoing, and it may be ongoing for some time now. So while we're hoping to get closure, it's going to take a little bit. Thank you.
Good morning. We want to first thank, I'm short. Hi. We want to first thank Zach Hoffer, the DEA, and all the law enforcement agencies standing here today. Thank you for inviting us. But most importantly, thank you for the incredible work you are doing to save lives in our community. The kindness and the profound respect shown to our family. Jacob found peace of mind, body, and soul when he was fishing. He lived and he breathed New Orleans Saints football. And as you can plainly see, the passion was infectious. A little bit of a story about my son, our son. The picture you see displayed is from the game in Cincinnati that my husband, my son, his brother, and our nephew went to. It was the coldest day of the year, and they wanted some chili after the game. So they went get chili in Cincinnati, which had a lot of cinnamon inside, and y'all, it didn't taste a bit like Louisiana. So on the way home, Jacob called me, said, "Mom, please, could you cook a big pot of your chili with a lot of Tony Chachere's in it? Because when we get home, we're going to be pretty hungry." So I did. And when he walked in that front door, he gave me a big bear hug. He kissed me on top of the head, and he said, "Mom, thank you so much for going out of your way for me. I love you, and it's so good to be home. I never want to leave." Jacob was constantly planning his future. He was in the process of getting his IT degree, and he dreamed of starting his own nonprofit business to help people who could not get computers that were in college. He was going to help supply them with them so they could be successful in their lives. He had a future, and it was stolen from him. Jacob loved his family fiercely, and he was extremely protective of all of us. We were his world, and he showed it daily through his words and his actions and his smile. Oh God, that smile, I miss it so very much. We are here because we want the world to know who Jacob was. He was not a statistic. He was our son. Fentanyl stole Jacob from us. We are living proof. Please do not make the mistake of thinking this could never happen to your child, to your neighbor, to your friend, to your spouse, or even to you. We stand fully behind the DEA and the district attorney's office in holding dealers accountable because we desperately need this work to be done. We need you to save other families from this unending heartbreak. Thank you all for your attendance, and God bless.
Mr. Platt, Mrs. Massey, thank you. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for making Nicholas and Jacob real to everyone in this room. I think I can speak for the DEA and all of our law enforcement partners when I say we will honor your sons and their memory through our relentless work. The results announced today, the lives saved in St. Tammany, Washington, and Tangipahoa parishes are not the end of this fight. They are definitive, verifiable proof that Fentanyl-Free America mission works when we stand united. We will not stop until the cartels are dismantled, the dealers are in jail, and we have eliminated this threat to our communities. I want to turn it over now to Public Affairs Specialist Kellyanne Biley, who will run our question and answer period.
Thank you, Zach. We do want to open it up now to any of the reporters who have questions. Anam?
Can the staff talk about just how over the years it's become more common to find fentanyl in all kinds of drugs?
I think it's incredible and it's unbelievable, the amount of fentanyl that there's a lot of popular talk about fentanyl pills, counterfeit pills, fentanyl powder, but the poisonings that we've talked about here today, they really stem from fentanyl being hidden or masked in other recreational drugs, illicit drugs. As you asked about, there is not a single substance that we seize, and I think I can speak for probably all the law enforcement officials that are up here, that there's not a single illicit substance that we seize that we have not seen fentanyl mixed with, laced with, and I think that sometimes there's even the misconception that it can't be mixed with something like marijuana. I think cocaine and heroin and methamphetamine, it's pretty popular to be mixed in with that, fentanyl and other synthetic opioids, but everyone should know and remember that it can be mixed with and even with substance like marijuana.
And as for what's next, I mean, you're making great strides in the North Shore. Any plans to expand the partnership in the South Shore or anywhere else?
There isn't a day that we go by that we don't look to expand our team. Our division-wide, all across our 4 states, we have over 220 state and local and federal partners that we work with every day. This particular team right here, this is a great model and blueprint like we talked about already, and we're going to continue to expand that and make, in fact, impactful strides here in the New Orleans area.
There was a report in WDSU a couple weeks ago about DEA-led investigation disrupting cartel activity. You talked about that as like kind of the first pillar of this operation. Can you talk about whether that investigation is connected to this progress and just sort of what the national scope of that first pillar of the approach here, how that's worked?
I don't think that there's one particular, I don't want to talk about any one particular one of our investigations into the cartels of Sinaloa and CJNG, but it's better to find and to say this, that every single, a huge majority, almost all of the fentanyl that's produced, smuggled, and distributed here in the United States, the Sinaloa and CJNG cartels, they're the ones that are responsible. So any case that fentanyl is seized or where that's the charge, it's going to eventually make its way back. That's where it came from. Fentanyl is the illicit fentanyl that we talk about. It's a product that's made with precursor chemicals that come from places like China, end up in a place in Mexico, for example. Could be in a jungle, could be in a warehouse, and the chemicals are just mixed together. My point with that being that no longer is the drug trade dependent on a growing season, waiting for the coca plant or marijuana to grow. The synthetic opioids that are produced by the chemicals, it's only dependent on how many chemicals can the cartels get their hands on. So then eventually the fentanyl that's made, whether it's made in Mexico and then shipped here, or the precursors or a byproduct is sent here and then finished, it's all connected back to one of the 2 cartels, Sinaloa or CJNG.
What's your outlook for 2026? Do you guys expect this downward trend to continue?
Absolutely. The team that is standing here behind me is ready to go. I mean, we have more resources, more information, and that all comes because of the team that's standing here today and our ability to share that information. And I think it was either the chief or the sheriff that talked about, or maybe it was the DEA that said it, but setting aside egos, setting aside I'm the individual that did this, that doesn't exist, and that's not how we make progress. So going forward, this is only going to grow. This team and this effort and our ability to work together is only going to grow. And I look forward to looking at the numbers in a few months to see how they've decreased even more.
Can you talk about the last pillar of the trifecta, charging people with second-degree homicide? I don't know if you want to talk about it or the local agencies, just how much that has helped with reducing numbers, and if
I know in St. Tammany, we have about 12 pending trial now. I know the last trial of last year and into this year was a trial of a couple that was supplying a freshman at Covington High School with fentanyl, and they killed her. We convicted both of them of murder at the end of last year and beginning of this year. We just indicted 2 more out of Washington Parish, I believe, last month, and have definitely convicted, I can't remember all of them, but we've convicted a significant number, to include the life penalties as well. And we're going to continue to charge all of the ones that we can prove through toxicology analysis. If we can prove it, we're going to charge it. We're going to keep going, and I expect the numbers that we do last year to double this year, because we're going to keep utilizing that tool until the message is received. I did want to make one additional comment. You asked about the South Shore, and I'd kick myself if I didn't thank Sheriff Lopinto and Captain Shane Klein as we started to kind of decide that we wanted to look at the overdose homicides and work them like drug investigations. Jefferson Parish supplied a lot of resources and support of what they were aggressively starting to do as well with their settlement funds in pursuing those cases in that manner, and actually contributed a body to this entire effort on the Northshore. And I think that speaks volumes to the collaboration that everyone is all in. Thank you.
Did you gonna speak to Tangipahoa and those charges?
I can.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is Scott Perilou. I'm the District Attorney for the 21st Judicial District, which includes Tangipahoa Parish. Just to touch on what Colin hinted at, we are also actively and aggressively pursuing these cases when we feel like they are factually set up for us to prove. Second-degree murder charges. Second-degree murder in Louisiana carries a mandatory life sentence, which gives us a lot of leverage in terms of getting good plea resolutions if that's what we have to rely on, depending on the facts and situation that we're given. I would just like to say, and I'm about to start my 30th year in the District Attorney's Office. This has been the single most effective task force involving federal resources that I've ever experienced in the District Attorney's Office. So I want to thank everyone for that. This has not been a willy-nilly approach to these types of cases. I do want to recognize Larry Johnson, who's back here somewhere, other side. Larry has kind of been my point person on this, and he has my cell number, I have his, and he may call me at 9 o'clock at night to tell me what's going on. And it's never a bother because I know his heart's in it, and they have, along with working with our local agencies, just strategically approach these cases in a way to give us the best possible cases we can to prosecute, and realizing what's available, what the limitations are. So I want to thank everyone for that. It's been really unprecedented in my experience. Anyway, thank you.
WDSU, did you have a question? You're good, okay. Anyone else? All right, that concludes our press conference for this afternoon. Thank you all so much and have a fabulous day.
Steve.